want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Hey guys, Paul Shirey, JoBlo.com. I am here at CinemaCon 2019 here in Las Vegas. Just got out of the Warner Brothers panel. We saw a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of it you can pick up on our Twitter feed and also on our news feed. You can catch up on a lot of that stuff right there. But we want to talk about a few primary things that I think you guys are going to be most interested in. First off is the DC slate. So I know a lot of you guys, just like me, hey, we love this stuff. That's what we're here for. So I'm going to cover that right now. So to start it off, the first thing that we went through was Toby Emmer came out and he talked about the slate of what's upcoming. Now I know that there's a lot of rumors about all kinds of different projects here, but this doesn't necessarily mean that those aren't still happening, but this is what's on their slate, so and publicly acknowledged. So first up, he did say, obviously we have Shazam, which is opening on April 5th, which is coming up, and then also they mentioned Birds of Prey, which is currently in production right now from director Kathy Yan, and then also mentioned Wonder Woman 1984, which has been in production for a while, and we're not going to see until 2020, so we got a bit of a wait on that. But they did mention that. Also mentioned the Batman, Matt Reeves' The Batman. Also mentioned James Gunn's Suicide Squad 2, although he misspoke because Peter Safran told me it is the Suicide Squad, not Suicide Squad 2. So take that for what it's worth. He also said it was a total reboot, although we know that certain characters are coming back. So how that shapes up, I don't know. Maybe that's part of the surprise for it. We also saw our first look at the Joker, which, depending on when this video goes up, you guys may have already seen it. Does drop tomorrow. Joker obviously is the highly anticipated first origin story version of the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix playing the title character and directed by Todd Phillips. Now, Todd Phillips came out to introduce the film, and I mean, it looks cool. It's dark. For those of you that are like missing the dark DCEU days, this is it. This is your medicine. Definitely looks like a character study and really just a showcase for Joaquin Phoenix to do what he does, which is just to immerse himself in a character and just go batshit with it, pun intended. Things that we saw in the trailer, you see Gotham mentioned numerous times. You see Arkham Hospital mentioned. So this is very much in that universe, in the DC universe. We also see Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's father, talking on the news. He mentions a part where he's saying, this criminal is acting, is a coward wearing a mask. Again, kind of in a little ironic a twist right there, a little feed to who his son ends up becoming as a result of the Joker. So, well, not because of the Joker, but just because of of Gotham, of what happens there. So, a lot of really cool nods, like Jokerisms, iconic kind of movements and stuff like that. So the mannerisms and everything, I feel like Joaquin really has nailed down, and that's, I mean, I don't think anybody would expect anything less of Joaquin for that. But yeah, it looks really cool. It looks really well shot, really polished, but still dark and gritty, which is kind of a bit of a, it's a departure for Todd Phillips, which is, it's a credit to him. Like, this really looks like something different for him, very different for him, and kind of an experimental piece. So, but it looks cool, and I'm very curious to see how it ties into Batman, if at all. There is a scene where he puts his hands through these bars, and there's a young kid there, a young boy, which would be about Bruce Wayne's age, and he kind of gives him a smile, like pushing his cheeks open. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Could that be Bruce Wayne? Maybe. We'll see. So anyways, you guys will see the trailer very soon. I'm actually very curious to hear what everybody's reaction is to that. Okay, so the other things that we saw, Birds of Prey. It's still in production, so there's not a lot, and they didn't really show a lot of polished footage. It was a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. Some of it you've kind of seen in some of the sizzle reel stuff that they put out already. Well, I wouldn't really call them sizzle reels, but sizzle behind-the-scenes reels. We saw some shots of Harley Quinn kind of walking with explosions going off behind her. We got new looks at the Huntress, who is played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and she looks very raw. Like, she's not polished. They're not trying to like sexy her up. Like, she really looks kind of, I guess badass without the sexy. So you take that as you will, but she just looks like very raw. Like, she's like kind of gashed up and bloody, and just she looks tough. tough. How about we'll go with that. So Margot Robbie mentions in the behind the scenes piece that Harley Quinn is not a member of Birds of Prey, but rather someone that just kind of jumps in and out. And then the other members are talking about how basically Black Canary and Huntress are talking about how basically Harley Quinn just comes in and just screws everything up and just kind of stirs the pot, which makes sense for her character. So I think that's interesting that they're not trying to say that, hey, she's a member of Birds of Prey. She's just happens to be in the movie. And I can't even remember the full name of the movie. I'm not even going to try. I'm just calling it Birds of Prey, just like the emancipation of Harley Quinn, some shit like that. Anyways, but it looks good. I mean, again, it's a little too soon to tell. I know everybody's kind of riled up how they want an R-rated Birds of Prey. I really don't expect that to happen, to be honest with you. I think that's a big risk. Not saying that Warner Brothers wouldn't take it, but R versus PG-13, money. Do you need that R just so you can hear some swear words? Like a lot of people are wanting a bloodbath with Birds of Prey. It's not going to happen. So that's Birds of Prey. Okay, so the other film that we got to look at was Wonder Woman 84 or Wonder Woman 1984 or WW 84, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really seem to be an official word on that, but we'll find out soon enough. Either way, Wonder Woman 2, whatever. Wonder Woman 84. So a lot of footage that we saw also in Comic-Con last year. So, I mean, this movie's been in production for a while. It's already wrapped. It's not coming out till next year. So, they're sitting on a lot of stuff. And I did visit the set, which I can't talk about, but I will say this. They are holding a lot to their chest. They really are keeping a lot back, so I think that's gonna work in their favor in the long run. We got a few looks at Cheetah. We didn't get a full-on reveal. Little teases, which is much more than we've seen already, of Kristen Wiig looking kind of badass and evil, and a little bit of fighting stuff, but nothing like really close up that we could get a full grasp on. We did have Patty Jenkins was talking in a behind-the-scenes clip, and she said that this Wonder Woman, which is taking place in the 80s, obviously, is at the height of her power. She's at full power, whereas we saw in the first Wonder Woman movie, she was still trying to figure out who she was. She was still kind of experimenting and kind of raw, a little bit raw, and figuring things out. But now she's confident, she's established, and she's doing her thing. So that's what where we'll be starting with her character in this film. There's also some more Chris Pine in there. How he comes into the picture, nobody really knows yet, but he is there, and there was some more footage of him in the film as well. We saw some of the other teases that we again saw at Comic-Con, where she was jumping off the balcony at the mall and wearing a little more vibrant costume. We also saw the scene where she's like running at full speed down the road in DC. So a lot of stuff that we've already seen, or maybe you haven't if you weren't at Comic-Con, but still, again, very close to the chest. Having been on the set, I know that there's tons more they haven't shown, and that's a good thing. One other thing that they did show, not quite DC, I guess DC related, but maybe not the way that you want, DC Super Pets. So that is a thing, it is happening, and it's going to be on the animated slate. I will say this though, they did show a little tease of some of the artwork and the style that they're doing for it, and it did show the pets with their superhero counterparts. So Batman with his bat dog and Superman with, I guess, Crypto and whatnot. And the art actually looks kind of cool, and whether or not that translates, I don't know, we'll see. I don't know. But it does look decent. I mean, who knows? It could be really cool. So that's about it. That's all they had for the slate. Again, they did mention Batman. They did mention Suicide Squad 2, but they did not show anything. And how could they? They're not even behind the lens yet. So patience. But either way, some good stuff coming up on the slate. DC's had a really good run, especially in the last 3 movies, including Shazam, which I know you're going to see and you're going to love. So that's it for DC and the WB panel. I am Paul Shirey with JoBlo.com. Here at CinemaCon, much more to come.